Greetings, salutations, hello and hi. Welcome to Crimes, Lies, and Alibis. I will be your host this evening. I'm Terry. Danny has the video off. Today's video is going to be the Academy Award winning slap by Will Smith to Chris Rock. But first, I just want to make sure that you stay tuned till the very end, where you're going to hear some exciting updates concerning the channel. And I'm looking forward to telling everybody all of that before I do anything. Got to do the fair use, right? So let me read that to you. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. Let's get that off of there. All right.
TJ and Amy are at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures in Los Angeles, covering it all for us this morning.
They were there for something we have never seen before, something that is very hard to process. Will Smith walking up onto that stage after Chris Rock told a joke about his wife, simply assaulting Chris Rock. You see it right there. He hit him, cold-cocked him after that joke. Chris Rock composed himself, got it back together, gave out the award, but the Academy put out in a statement overnight saying they don't condone violence, but have not taken any other action yet.
And Chris Rock did not file charges.
Mm-hmm.
LA police are aware, but no charges. But it really, it changed the entire night. It was a wonderful night, a first and all that, but he was soon back on that stage accepting the Oscar for Best Actor. TJ is going to start us off with all of that. Good morning, TJ.
Robin, this was awful. It was ugly. It was embarrassing. It was confusing. But on that stage last night, like Georgia said, we saw something we'd never seen before. And this was a night where we saw history repeated. We had a feel-good night, Ariana DeBose, a night where we saw the first deaf man pick up an acting Oscar, on a night where we saw Coda win, and on a night where this entire production, the entire Oscar show, was done for the first time by an all-Black producing team. But here we are, leading off the show, and the story of the morning is about one man assaulting another on the Oscar stage.
Hollywood's biggest night, and this was not an accident.
Wow!
Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars. The tense moment happened just seconds after Rock made this joke about Smith's wife, Jada's shaved head.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
You can see Jada roll her eyes, and then Smith seems to laugh it off, but then gets up on stage.
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the out of me.
But this is what you didn't hear at home, but aired on some international feeds.
Get my name out your mouth. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was the greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
A seemingly rattled Rock goes on to introduce nominees for Best Documentary Feature. Sean P. Diddy Combs and host Amy Schumer tried to cut the tension in the room.
Okay.
What I want to mention at this stage is about the best thing that has happened. Chris Rock, to say that he displayed such class would be an understatement. He took the high road. Props to him, for lack of a better term. There's been a lot of back and forth, who was right, who was wrong. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure you probably know by now that Will Smith's wife has alopecia, which is loss of hair. And so the reason her hair is so short is she shaves it so that it just makes life easier for her. I know a little bit about alopecia. Well, I don't have it myself. My husband has it. And however, just because your wife has alopecia doesn't mean you go up and slap somebody. And this isn't a back alley somewhere or out on the schoolyard of West Philadelphia. It was highly inappropriate. It was an assault. No matter what state you're from, at the very least, it would be assault. It's considered assault. It was unwanted, hands-on for Chris Rock. And you hear people say, well, he shouldn't have said this, he shouldn't have said that. That's besides the point. Assuming he knew that she has alopecia, it's not reason enough to put your hands on somebody. It just isn't, in my opinion. But I do think that Chris Rock did handle it with such class. So I think that's all I wanted to mention at this point. So let me just backtrack a little bit. Also, just note the importance of this night in this field. I mean, there are people around the world who wait for this day of the Academy Awards. It's a big, big day. And I think the reason that people are so upset about this is, in addition to the slap itself, is that nothing was done about it. Had that been anybody else, they would have been escorted off out of the building. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have received his prize, or any of that, but I think he should have been removed. I believe that. He committed a crime. He committed an assault on somebody there. And him doing that and having no repercussions tells me that as long as you have the money and the power, especially the power, you can go up and hit somebody and not have to leave. And no one should have that kind of power.
Will and Chris, we're going to solve that like family at the goal party. Okay? But right now we're moving on with love.
Did I miss anything? There's like a different vibe in here.
About 45 minutes after slapping Rock, a tearful Smith took to the stage to accept the award for Best Actor in King Richard amid a standing ovation.
Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family. I'm being called.
This is another part that really got me. See, I like Will Smith. And I think that's kind of the reason that I'm just a little pissed off at the guy, What he did was wrong. And rather than own up to it, he's going to justify what he did by comparing himself to this person that this documentary was about. And it just upsets me that he does this. And it was like the first time I saw it, I was just, there you go. That's your Academy Award. That's your Academy Award, because that take responsibility. We're not perfect. We're not perfect human beings. But if you do something wrong, take responsibility for it.
Called on in my life to love people.
See, just like right there, to love people. Were you loving Chris Rock when you hit him like that? And you know what? It might have been open-handed and it may be referred to as a slap. But every one of you, I'm sure, were able to hear that hit. You could see that hand being, like tight. And, he got him with his palm. It might have been open-handed, but it was like a fist.
And to protect people and to be a river to my people. I want to be a vessel for love.
Smith apologized, but not to the comedian.
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. Love will make you do crazy things.
Overnight, the LAPD tells ABC News Rock declined to file a police report. The Academy issued a statement saying it does not condone violence of any form. Jada has been candid about her struggle with hair loss due to a condition called alopecia, ultimately deciding to shave her head.
This is going to be a little bit more difficult for me to hide.
But this isn't the first time she's been the butt of Rock's jokes. In 2016, Rock took aim at her decision to boycott the award show amid the Oscar So White controversy in his opening monologue.
Jada's mad her man, Will, was not nominated for concussion. I get it. It's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. Yeah, you're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West.
The couple ignored questions from the press as they walked the blue carpet at the Vanity Fair after party. Smith smiling with his family, then partying and dancing with his gold statue.
And Robin, George, Stray, you, depending on who you talk to, you hear different opinions about what the moment was. There's some people who will say this is a man who was frustrated and was defending and taking up for his wife. And then there's another faction of folks who will tell you, and this is the word you all I had, said to me plenty of times, heartbroken. Heartbroken, and this is what I got from a lot of African Americans, that this was a moment and a showcase for Will Packer to have his hands on this show and for this to be the moment that's talked about. It took away from what the show was. So people will have their opinions about it, but without question, this was an awful, unfortunate, and out of character behavior from Will Smith, who we've all spent a whole lot of time with over the years, guys.
Yeah, it just took away a night of firsts, as we said. And we'll get back to you and Amy and TJ and Larry in just a little bit.
No excuse for violence.
No, it's
I'm
not.
sorry.
No, none.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, that there is no excuse for violence, none. The thing of it is, he knew he was going to win. He had won every award in the categories leading up to that. There was no question that he was going to win. He was going to have that platform and he could have used it. This wasn't, like an I just snapped. If Chris Rock was standing right in front of him and it was like a reflex, that would have been one thing. But he had to get up out of his seat. He had to walk to the steps, go up the steps, walk all the way across. At any point there, he could have changed his mind and not done that. Like these people said, it's there were a lot of firsts that night. I think it was last night. There were a lot of firsts. It was the first time the entire production team was Black. It was the first time that a deaf man had won an Academy Award. The Academy Award is just the top. I mean, like they watch this in all the countries. I mean, like you can watch that video, the words not cut out, the curse words, because it's in Japan. Or I heard the one in Japan, I heard the one in Canada, and I forget where the other one was, aside from the United States, of course. But there is a lot of, it's not really conflict, it's a lot of differences of opinion, what should have been done. The fact that the Academy did nothing, the fact that they allowed him to stay, that was my biggest thing. And really, if you think about it, if they had handled it when it happened, he would have just been asked to leave. If he wins, which we knew he was going to, his wife is welcome to accept the award on his behalf. That's what should have happened. But since it didn't, what's left? They're not going to take the award from him. But the repercussions and the consequences become more serious now when it's not dealt with in the very beginning, because now, they could suspend him from. They're going to do something. They have to. The pressure is too heavy on them. I thought we could go over some of the things that were on Twitter. Here it is. Okay, so the Academy does not condone violence of any form. Tonight, we are delighted to celebrate our 94th Academy Awards winners who deserve this moment of recognition from their peers and movie lovers around the world. And different people said different things. DSP, The Undying, said, "You watched and broadcast a live assault to millions of people around the world, then awarded a man who committed said assault immediately afterwards without removing him from the building or having him arrested for the crime. That's the definition of condoning the violence." Other instances like this one, I'm not going to play it right now. Rosie O'Donnell said, "Then why did you do nothing?" And Mark Dice says, "Yeah, you do. In any normal business, Will Smith would have been escorted out by security immediately and then arrested. Instead, you gave him an award." Somebody said, "I wonder how many families were watching together when an assault breaks out over a joke. Then the man who committed assault is allowed to stay, cry, and blame violence on love. This is so screwed up, but it's okay because they are celebrities, right? Wait, you don't? One member struck another member. Then you let the assailant sit there for 90 minutes as a center of attraction. No one made any condemning remarks. And then you gave him an award and a standing ovation. Where was the not condoning part?" There's a lot to that. And it really bothered me when, in his apology, where he did not apologize to Chris Rock. That bothered me too. It's a lot of people, they can say, well, he was just defending his wife. Well, you know what? He's a grown-ass man. What do we teach our kids? To use your words. You don't just go up and hit somebody who isn't physically going to be hurting you. Chris Rock didn't do anything like that. He told a joke. He's a comedian. You don't have to like his jokes. He could have easily, Will Smith could easily have taken him aside later after the show, even if he went up there and just kind of whispered something in his ear, like, "All right, please lay off." Whatever. You do not hit the man and make a mockery of the Academy Awards. And, and this was right before the whole memoriam part, and it kind of ruined that because people were still, doing this over what just happened. Nobody knew how to really handle that. However, don't get me started. But I did want to share where he apologized. So here we go.
Moments ago, Will Smith apologized for slapping Chris Rock during the Academy Awards last night. Here's what he wrote on Instagram. "Violence of all its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job," he writes, "but a joke about Jada's medical condition," that's his wife, "was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be." He goes on, "There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family." That's a reference to the movie for which he won the Oscar. "I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise glorious journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will." The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences condemned Will Smith after he slapped the comedian Chris Rock during the broadcast of the Oscars. In a statement, the Academy wrote, "The Academy condemns the actions of Mr. Smith at last night's show and will explore further action and consequences."
I imagine that's the reason. That's the reason for the apology. But I'd like to believe it to be sincere. So let me have that. Like you're gonna try and stop me, right? Anyway, But hey, this is just a small little example of what we're going to be having come to you via uploads and stuff like that. Because what we want to do is make our lives more fun, more laid back, more, casual, interactive. We've really, I'm thinking, we are thinking of having, like a call in or a jump on panel. It could be one, the other, both, just having trivias and we can talk about serious things, but we can also be a little more lighthearted about it and not so serious all the time. It was starting to get to me. And especially, I'm sure, just like a lot of you, everything that's been going on YouTube, I'm sure has been getting to you. I was having an issue with it. So, and then with Danny and I doing this, and it's like, well, you know what, let's just try. I mean, what actually built this were my uploads. I did a lot of uploading, and I'm not taking the live streams out at all. But I think, they won't have to be long and drawn out or boring. I don't like long, drawn out, and boring. They could be long as we're all having fun, then I don't mind a 2 to 3 hour. But if it's just going to be, details of a case, then why not just an upload that might be a half hour? And then if anybody has any questions, you could write that down and we'll talk about it when we go live. So I thought that was a great idea. Danny has been working really, really hard behind the scenes. She's trying to look for best ways to record, with lighting and sound, and I was going to say and audio, but that's kind of the same thing. But video, and there was more. And I know that she's doing, editing is another thing. We're both working really hard on trying to do. My editing skills aren't very good. We want to be consistent. We want to give you the best. We want to give you what you deserve, for those of you who are subs and our members, and we still owe you. Danny and I were just talking about that earlier. We owe you, and we owe you your lives. You know what I mean? Like live streams, It is nice that one of them will be for everybody, but we want to have more fun, with you guys. And if you have any ideas, just send them. You have the TalkWithTerryToday@gmail.com. Maybe what Danny and I need to do is have one make up an email address where we both have access to it. Let me just take a quick look at my notes. So the uploads that we'll be doing can vary. It'll vary from documents, the stuff that we have documents for, where we can just do all that reading and that boring stuff, and everybody can take their notes and kind of come to the table. So a lot of that stuff will be there. And if you do want to do it live, all you need to do is say so, and we'll do it live. Because I think it was the Morphew case that was really long, and the Keegan Klein interview was really long, and then it's like a starting and stopping and starting and stopping, and that can get really annoying for people too. But there's all kinds of crime, right? There's all kinds of true crime, like those funny court cases or 911 calls, or just, you've got your sovereign citizens, and true stories. So there just might be like a, just for example, and I'm just throwing stuff out there, like a Fugitive Friday, Unsolved Saturday, or just stuff like that. So, if there's something or like a story that you want us to cover, like that, where we could do an upload, that would be awesome if you would just, like let us know, even like older cases, because some of them are just so fascinating. Another thing Danny is working on really hard with is a logo. As you notice, there's no little logo in the top. Would it be your left or your right? Well, there isn't one, so it's not there. So anyway, I want to just thank you all for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't, like if you haven't already. That really goes a long way with the algorithm. And I found out that especially with the uploads, more so than the live streams. So if anybody who watches this I should have said that in the beginning, right? Oh, well, it happens. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. And I will catch you in the next one.